Hello, hello, welcome to New Gameplay Today, and I am your host, Wesley LeBlanc. Today we are joined by Game Informer's very own Marcus Stewart. How you doing?
I'm feeling great. How are you, Wes?
I'm doing great. Very excited to check out this character, Butts, I think was their name. But before that, Brian Shea, how are you?
I am doing so well. I'm actually very excited for this one because I have been itching to learn more about World Tour mode.
So Marcus, tell us all about it, because you went hands-on with this, right?
Yeah, I took a trip to San Francisco to visit Capcom, and we got to play about 90 minutes of World Tour mode, and we got to go past where the demo stops. I believe the public demo only pretty much just covers the first chapter, and we got to play up to the beginning of Chapter 3. So right now we're looking at the beginning of Chapter 2, where we got to seek out ChunLi and try to convince her to train us, to take us under her wing. And we're seeing this cool cutscene where she's kind of schooling her existing students. And yeah, I have a lot of fun playing World Tour. We're going to see quite a bit of it in this video. But I don't think, like, having played this and then playing the demo, I don't think the demo really offers enough to really get like enough of a handle on what, like everything you can do in this mode.
Yeah, I played through the demo and I was like, okay, I don't know if that did anything for me.
Because it's pretty much just tutorial, right? It's like, here's
Yeah.
the absolute basics of this mode. Okay, see ya in June. It's pretty much
Basically, yeah.
But here I got to run around, explore, see a lot of weird, wacky stuff, do some weird stuff. So we're gonna be getting a nice look at that today. So
A tour of World Tour.
exactly.
Ooh. So if I'm playing Street Fighter 6 and I want to go through like, I guess, a story, would it be this, or would you recommend like arcade modes story stuff first?
Well, it's different stories because
Okay.
arcade is following the stories of the roster, their individual tales, whereas this mode you're creating a custom character. The character creator is deeper than I expected for this game. My character looks pretty basic here just because I was on a time crunch and I can very easily fall down the rabbit hole of doing all kinds of stuff. So I kind of just put an afro on him and said he vaguely looks like Xavier Woods. I'll call it a day. But I did watch another journalist spend a lot more time fiddling with his character, and I was kind of impressed with the monstrosity that he created. But yeah, you're playing this custom avatar. We got our buddy Butts. And the idea is that you're one of Luke's students, along with a new character named Bosch, who's kind of like your classmate / rival. And you're basically just trying to become the best fighter. At least that's what the story premise, establishes. I don't know if it goes any deeper than that. I would imagine that it becomes more of a thing the longer you play. But that's sort of the basic setup. You just want to be the best. And so you're running around multiple cities, really. Metro City is where you start out, and it already looks like decently big for a hub, but we saw in the showcase that you're going to get to go to other cities around the world, and they each have their own missions, their own characters to meet. You're going to be studying under all of the fighters of the at least like the 18 character launch roster. They're all teachers waiting for you to study under. And a lot of other just weird shenanigans going on in this mode. And that's what I love about it, honestly. Like, I love that it does not take itself seriously in the slightest.
Yeah, like they're really leaning into the goofiness of this. Like I did not expect that.
Yeah, it's almost got like and I called this out in my preview that should be up on the website now. It's got a Yakuza, like a dragon absurdity to it. It helps that sort of like design wise, they're kind of similar. You're wandering around an open world, you're running into enemies that you can challenge anyone in the street, or there's just thugs that will chase you on sight and try to get a hit on you. We're looking right now at the little skill tree and customizing my moves. So
Do you feel that like this is, well, actually, let me ask you this. So I see that you're learning moves of Chun-Li and then presumably the other fighters. Are you like building a custom character that you can then go use throughout the rest of the game, or does everything stay within this world mode?
No, you can take your avatar into the Battle Hub, which is the online destination, and you can fight other players' custom avatars there.
Okay. And so do you feel that do you think that you're going to be creating like your ultimate fighter and then that's who you'll use, or do you think you'll just you'll play through this and then kind of go back to like Ryu or Ken or whoever your mains might be?
It kind of depends on what I wind up, creating by the end of the mode, right? Because you can, with the more masters that you train under, you adopt not only their sort of whole move sets, but you also get their special moves, and you can mix and match different special moves as you get them. So it's like, oh, I can give my buddy, spinning bird kick from ChunLi, but then maybe I'll also give him Luke's like uppercut attack too, because why not? You can almost make like a weird like hodgepodge fighter that's just like, I know all the moves, almost like a Shang Tsung in a way.
Yeah.
I could, so like the character I made in the demo specifically, because I spent a lot more time on it, so he looks like a weird freak show guy. I would, just for the comedy of it, I would use them all the time, because like, oh, look at this weird thing I made, and also who knows all the moves.
Yeah.
Like the idea of sort of like building your own strategy around the character that you created and presumably spent a lot of time with, because this mode seems pretty meaty. Yeah, I think, and also as talking to the Capcom PR reps, they were saying how they've already seen people internally as well as like other players they put the game in front of, create like other characters from other like properties, as well as like Street Fighter characters that aren't in this game. So there's a lot of fun with that of like, oh, I want it. And if you look at the character creator, like, oh, I could probably get super wild if I really sat down with this of like, I'm gonna make, I don't know if you can do this, but in my mind is like, can I just make like Skullomania from like the EX series? Because I kind of want to do that.
That's what I do every time I fire up a Soul Calibur game. I'm just like, all right, well, let me create like Akuma or Ryu or something in this, and then tackle it and see how versatile the creation suite really is.
Yeah, like I'm just gonna make Sub-Zero, or I'm gonna make Liu Kang.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give us the Street Fighter Mortal Kombat crossover. I'll do it myself. Do you guys, or I don't know if did either of you guys or Brian, you played the demo, right? The public demo?
No, I've not played the public demo.
I did play the demo.
I was gonna ask, like, what did you make, Wesley? Did you just make yourself, or did you make like another character, or what did you wind up with?
I ended up basically just making myself, or the version of myself I want to be. So, especially buff, fit, healthy, doing all the things that current Wesley is not. Yeah, I just made the goals Wesley, and I'm pretty happy with it. But like you, I didn't spend too much time with it just because mostly I just wanted to like kind of get in and play. And I imagine at launch I'm gonna kind of spend more time with that. But yeah, it seemed pretty robust. It reminded me a lot of like just being on social media. It reminded me of when Bloodborne came out and people were making just the most god awful characters ever, just terrifying monsters. And I think Street Fighter 6 is gonna have a lot of that.
Yeah, I especially love the different proportion size too. Like you can make some weirdly shaped humans in this game,
like non-human humans.
Yeah, exactly. Like questionably human fighters. Yeah, which is really exciting. You see here, I'm really giving I believe her name is Li Fen, who seems like she's going to be a big character in this mode, just because she got her own title card and she seems to be like Chun-Li's star pupil. She kind of. Before this, she asked you like, hey, maybe you should can you help her out, because she has a lot of promise, but she's not really focused. She's too busy with her hacking and her computers, these dang kids. So maybe you can get in there and teach her something, but there's in addition to that, the open world has quite a bit to do from what I saw. Like there's vendors you can find, you can buy stat boosting like food and like buffs, which is kind of weird because you can use them during fights, and it's just weird to play like a one-on-one fight and then almost like an RPG, but like, oh, I need to heal. I'm gonna drink. It almost feels like cheating a little bit of like, oh, you're winning, I'm just gonna drink something and now I'm good.
Yeah, that's how it feels in Pokemon, so why not?
Yeah, I guess
look at this
so.
guy.
Oh yeah, my favorite dude. So we got the Watcher here, and again, this is a good example of why exploring is important, also really fun. Like I was just randomly running around like, oh, I'll climb this rooftop, there's a ladder here, and it was like, oh, there's just this weird Capcom superhero that's hanging out here spying on people, and then he gives you like this whole spiel about like asking you like, oh, do you know why you fight? You know, is there justice in your fists? And he gives you this like backstory of a kid that got mugged, but then learned a way of fighting because he got rescued by his master. And I assume he's talking about himself. I don't know what his powers are, though. That's the one thing I want to spend more time with the Watcher. As you can see, he was level 28, so if I challenged him, he would wipe the floor with me, because every character has a level. I think I'm like level 5 or 6 or something at this point. So I was afraid to challenge him, but I would like to see what his moves are exactly.
Well, it'd probably just be a one-hit KO for you, right? If he's that high level.
No, that's One Punch Man, Brian. This is the Watcher.
My mistake.
It's weird that he's called the Watcher, but he's like covered in C's. You think it'd be like W's, maybe?
Yeah. What is that? What is that? Capcom? What is it?
It's totally Capcom, but it's like, why is he called the Watcher? Why didn't they do something clever? Like, what if he was like Capcom, like Captain Com? You know?
Oh.
I don't like that.
I do like that.
I don't like that at all.
Capcom, if you're watching, do it.
I mean, Brian, look at this guy's costume. You think he's above having a name like that?
Captain Com.
I also feel like the Watcher implies like some bit of secrecy, and this outfit is not subtle.
See, I just immediately think the Marvel character, the Watcher.
Oh, like Latu. Yeah, that's very different from this guy.
Yeah. So do you get the sense that this is like, because Street Fighter is a 2D fighter, and then there's this giant 3D like RPG-ish exploration game thing happening? Does it feel like its own thing and like fully fleshed out, or does it kind of just feel like a mode that's like tacked on, or like it's just such a strange, like I wouldn't be able to tell you this is Street Fighter 6 if I didn't know any better.
It feels, from what I played, it feels decently fleshed out. Like there's collectibles you can find, there's clothing you can find, which matters because again, it's like RPG where like every clothing set has like its own stats, and if you match the same like styles, you get stat boosts for like attacks and whatnot. As you see, I'm changing my hat there to a pretty stylish beanie because I really care about those numbers going up. And just even the exploration stuff where the more movesets you acquire from the masters you get their special moves that you can use outside of the battle. You saw me doing the spinning bird kick to break some signs to get to a new area of the roof. There's an emphasis on verticality with like different ladders to reach the rooftops and explore. Like they really encourage you to poke around and like find stuff. And it seems like with the Watcher there, like you can meet NPCs that might give you special items or missions and whatnot. It seems deeper than maybe I expected. I don't know if it's like, I made the Yakuza comparison before. I don't expect it to be like that deep.
Yeah.
But it is more dense. Like even just looking at this world of like, oh, there's a lot more detail, and like even just the scope of it is bigger than I thought it would be.
Are you just beating up a ChunLi cosplayer?
Yeah, I saw her in the streets there, and I was like, wait, did ChunLi come out? I thought it was her at first. I was like, did she kind of change her outfit and just hang out in the street corner? But no, this is ChunLi.
That's awesome.
Very different. She's very into Chun-Li, as you can tell, or maybe she's just a big Guile fan and put on the wrong outfit. Who can say?
So I wonder if like
very different outfit.
Do you think that, or maybe you already know, but like, do you think that Capcom is going to use this mode to like put in Easter eggs for their other games? Like, can I beat up Leon Kennedy somewhere, or Leon Benedy or something?
Oh, I don't know about their other games. I know they kind of alluded to in that presentation that it was full of Easter eggs for like the
Final
Street
Fight,
Fighter
right?
fans. Yeah, and Final Fight.
Yeah.
Metro City is from Final Fight. You're running into the Mad Gear gang, who are the bad guys in Final Fight. I mean, you saw the Mike Hagar statue in the trailer at the beginning, which shout out to him for finally getting the recognition he deserves as the greatest mayor in video game history. But in terms of other characters, or like other franchises, I'm not sure. I didn't see any, but I don't think this mode is above that either, because again of how goofy it is. Like
exactly,
you see those enemies there, like those were robots that you can fight. Like there's Roombas that you can fight. There's refrigerators that you can fight. This
really is so Yakuza though, now that you're saying like that.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
This just would be hell to live in though. Like you're just running through the streets and people are just trying to jump you left and right.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
just like every given big city, right? Like, you look at someone the wrong way, somebody will probably swing at you, you know?
So I actually take exception with you not considering Pauline the greatest mayor in video game history.
I mean, Mike Hagar got his hands dirty. You know, he saw a problem with crime. He got out there and he did something about
Pauline
it.
sang Jump Up Superstar while you ran through a Donkey Kong homage in Super Mario Odyssey.
I mean, look what was happening in that city, and she was too busy on skyscraper rooftops singing.
That's true.
With the rich.
Mike Hagar called up his buddies and picked up a pipe and just started blasting dudes. He went Thanos of I'll take care of this myself. Even though I have a full police force at my disposal. You know,
yeah, we'll agree to disagree. So what are we doing now?
So we completed the thing that ChunLi wanted or out to. She's, you know, at first when you go to her, she's like, "Hey, you need to fight all of my students." I didn't cut that part out just because it was kind of long. But all the people surrounding her, you just had to work your way through them all. And then she's like, "All right, I'll train you, but first talk to my pupil here, Lee Finn, see what she has to say." So we're still sort of like earning our place with ChunLi. You know, they've said that every character has like their own story that you can uncover because there's a bond system where the more stuff you do for a master, the stronger your bond becomes, and then you'll get more story missions that might give you some more like backstory or just sort of like whatever is going on in their lives currently. You get to learn more about.
Can you give them gifts and stuff?
You can go to the stores that buy power-ups and all that stuff, and you can buy them little gifts. I did not do that in my demo.
Can you go out and like hang out with them?
That I don't know. I don't know the extent of like if you get your bond up all the way, like, are you going out on, like, are you suggesting like a date or like a hangout?
No, just basically? Like a hangout. Like so you're talking about like all the comparisons to like a dragon. I'm talking, right. Let's get into some persona mechanics here.
Okay. Well, because Like a Dragon has that stuff too, where you can have like girlfriends and there's like whole arcs you can go with them. I don't know if it goes that far, but it seems like to maybe brush against that. And also there's a mini game. So we're looking at Kung Fu Target here. And I've got cool. Yeah, I've got to break as many boards as I can within the time limit.
Oh, I like this one.
I like the effects, making it kind of look like I guess like an older movie.
Yeah, I also like that these guys standing on each other's shoulders, just the balance involved in holding their boards.
Come on, sweep the leg.
I think I'm like rewatching this. I'm like, why didn't I just sweep that there? You know, you're kind of far removed from the demos. You're trying to get in my mindset. Like, why didn't I just hit that? Was I messing around with something? Or maybe I got like, because, you know, I'm in a room with other journalists. Did someone say something to me and distracted me? Maybe, or like a PR person walked in to say something.
Yeah, that was it. Blame it on PR, Marcus.
You know, somebody brought me a donut. And I was like, oh, a donut. I want to eat this instead of doing this mini game. But I got an energy drink out of it.
Good.
Yeah, I did pretty good, I think.
So I think I'm most curious with this mode is like, I wonder how different each teacher situation is going to be. Like, is every teacher just going to have a cool cutscene and then say, go fight my students and then I'll teach you some stuff? Like, I wonder how different each teacher is going to be.
Yeah, hopefully it's not that. I hope they all have their own sort of like weird quests that you have to do to get into their school and not just murder my existing students, please. I guess we'll have to find out. Is there anyone in this game, like a character that you're most excited to train under, you guys?
Oh man, I know you start under Luke, and then it seems like you go to ChunLi pretty quickly after that. I mean, Ken, he's the one with the most mysterious backstory right now. Like, we've seen a little bit of teases, like through the coverage that I provided when I did the cover story last November. But like, I'm excited to learn what's going on in his life, because he's been like the central focus point for a lot of some of the marketing.
That's fair. I'm thinking Zangief, surprisingly, just because he's a wrestler. Yeah, he's the Russian dude. He's a wrestler, and it's like, is there going to be like a wrestling quest where, you know, is he going to be like in an arena? Do I have to help him put on a wrestling show or something like that? Like, is he training them like like wrestling training. Like he's at like the WWE Performance Center with his students. They all have Zangief t-shirts and they're just running drills, doing drop down tackles. Like I want to see what that looks like.
I mean, I would like to see Jamie, who's one of the newer characters, because he's kind of like all about like that, like the kung fu and also like kind of a little bit of the drunken fist fighting. And I feel like there could be some cool shenanigans that ensue from that. And he also seems like he has a pretty flashy personality.
Yeah, JP might be up there too for the same reason, like flashy personality.
Say,
He knows
I like
magic.
that he fights. All his moves are with one hand. Like that's hard. That dude's not playing around.
I also like Cammy a lot, so of course, like I'm gonna be excited for that.
Yeah, take you on some missions that we see here with these gang members that ChunLi sent us to fight. You saw before I did my spinning bird kick to hit them. You can preemptively attack enemies to get an advantage during the fight.
Okay.
But they can also do the same to you. So I think we might have already seen it, but sometimes when they're running at you, they'll just straight up throw drop kicks. You saw that guy just tried to do a roundhouse kick to me.
Got him.
How about you just walking trying to grab food and this dude's just throwing roundhouse kicks at you as you come by.
Well, he's wearing a box on his head.
Yeah. And then there's like people that are like, oh, finally. And they just come and watch you.
About time somebody did something about that roundhouse kick throwing box guy.
Yeah.
Comes out every day. We're just trying to do our shopping and he's just trying to kick everyone.
Everybody's just waiting for him to get his comeuppance.
In his stupid tank top. But he compliments you a little bit.
He needs to now. He just tried to.
Yeah, he needs to eat some humble pie.
Yeah. They're called the Canary Crate Gang.
Okay. Interesting.
I don't know where the canary part comes in, but
it's
the yellow,
something like that. Yeah, yellow. There we go.
Okay. I was like, unless they take their boxes off and they have bird heads, like it's like they're this weird, freakish human canary hybrids, and that's why they wear boxes because it would shock the world. Who can say?
What are the physics behind the spinning bird kick?
You just got to be real good at martial arts. That's when you're really good at martial arts. Like when you get a black belt, it basically gives you the power to defy physics. I don't know if you know that.
By the way, we had a very funny end to the Street Fighter 6 rapid fire that we had planned. We just couldn't pull it off because we needed to find an ambulance in Osaka and shoot it driving away. But unfortunately, the ambulances were very few and far between. Basically, it was going to be like I tried to perform a spinning bird kick, and then we were going to shoot a scene where the ambulance was driving away. Then we would pan over, and we would have the director and producer of Street Fighter 6 looking very worried. And then we would cut to a very, very long scene of Alex talking on the phone and looking very distraught, hearing news about my demise.
I love that.
I like the implication that you guys were disappointed that something bad wasn't happening to someone.
No, that's not. It's just, it was hard to track down an ambulance that was like just like I think I saw 2 the entire time I was in Japan.
Yeah, you know, they got to figure it out over there. But yeah, this is Street Fighter 6's world tour, a decent chunk of the second chapter. I'm excited to get in here and mess around with more of it. It seems just so delightful and silly that it's right up my alley.
Yeah, I mean, they're really leaning into it, and I love it.
It seems like it's going to be a haven for future memes I will see on Twitter one day. This mode looks wild. And that's going to do us for today. Thank you so much for joining us.